My fiancée let her best friend roast me in my own house while living on my dime. Then she gave me an ultimatum. Apologize or get out. I chose option 3. I'm 34, a cybersecurity consultant in Denver. My job is basically professional paranoia. Companies pay me ridiculous amounts of money to find problems before they become disasters. I spend all day spotting patterns, catching lies, and documenting everything. That last skill turned out to be useful in my personal life. 3 years ago, I bought a fixer-upper bungalow for $210,000. By the time I finished renovating it, I'd spent nearly $60,000 and enough weekends covered in drywall dust to qualify as a construction worker. Then I met Chloe. She was 29, smart, funny, and working toward her master's degree. We hit it off immediately. When she told me she was stressed about tuition, I wanted to help. Focus on school, I told her. I'll handle the rest. And I did. Tuition payments, living expenses, groceries, utilities. When her car finally gave up after making a noise that sounded like a dying walrus, I bought her a used Toyota Camry. Life seemed good. And there was Trevor. Trevor was Chloe's best friend and self-appointed creative genius. According to Trevor, he was one viral video away from becoming famous. Unfortunately, he'd been one viral video away for about 6 years. He owned a luxury SUV that spent more time in repair shops than on roads. Every conversation with him felt like a TED Talk nobody asked for. You know, he'd say while wearing sunglasses indoors, some people chase dreams, others settle for spreadsheets. Apparently having a stable career was deeply offensive to him, but the real issue wasn't his attitude. It was his wallet. Every month there was some emergency. Trevor's transmission exploded. Trevor's rent was short. Trevor needed equipment. Trevor's dog apparently required therapy. Money kept disappearing from the household account. Not Chloe's money. My money. And because I'm professionally incapable of ignoring financial records, I kept notes. $2,800 for car repairs, $2,100 for rent, hundreds more for random urgent situations. Trevor repaid exactly $0. Not even enough to buy a thank you card. Then came the night everything exploded. I had just wrapped up a huge project and decided to host a dinner party. Steaks, good wine, friends, actual adults discussing actual adult things. 45 minutes after everyone arrived, Trevor walked in without knocking, using Chloe's spare key, like he paid the mortgage. He went straight to my expensive whiskey, poured himself a glass, and sat down. Then he smiled. The kind of smile that makes you instinctively check if your wallet is still in your pocket. He looked at Chloe and said, I mean, Ethan's a nice guy and all, reliable, responsible, but honestly, don't you think you could do better? The room went silent. I glanced at Chloe, and that's when I saw it. Tiny little nod, not a big one, just enough. The kind that says he's not wrong. I nearly laughed. Trevor continued. Someone more creative, more exciting. I set down my fork. Interesting. And I pulled out my phone. Chloe's tuition, $54,000. I pulled out another note. Vehicle purchase, $17,000. Another page. Monthly household expenses. And I looked directly at Trevor. Your bailouts, approximately $5,000. The room got very quiet. You could hear someone's ice cube surrendering in a glass. I smiled. So just to clarify, your argument is that the guy funding everyone's future is somehow less impressive than the guy who treats my bank account like a subscription service? Trevor looked like Windows had just crashed behind his eyes. That's when Chloe stood up, and instead of being angry at Trevor, she was angry at me. Ethan, that was completely inappropriate. I blinked. He insulted me in my own house. That doesn't matter. Then came the ultimatum. The famous ultimatum. Apologize to Trevor right now or we're done. My friend stared. Trevor stared. Chloe stared. I took a sip of whiskey and smiled. Okay. She crossed her arms. Okay. Yeah, we're done. The confidence vanished from her face so fast it deserved a replay. She genuinely expected me to fold. Instead, I accepted the deal. The next few days were remarkably productive. I stopped paying tuition, canceled every expense I was covering, removed her from professional connections I'd arranged, took back the car that was legally mine. Funny how ownership works when your name is actually on the paperwork. A few weeks later, she showed up at my door, panicked, crying, asking what she was supposed to do. I shrugged. You ended the relationship. She kept waiting for me to change my mind. I didn't. As for Trevor, the creative genius vanished shortly afterward. Turns out it's easy to be someone's soulmate when someone else is paying the bills. Last I heard, Chloe still tells people I was controlling. Maybe. Or maybe she confused accountability with control. Either way, she gave me an ultimatum. She said, apologize or leave. I chose neither. I simply showed everyone the receipt.